Greetings, everyone. This is Payman Lorenzo, your host of the Leaders with Heart podcast. They have another amazing guest, my new good friend Karlee from beautiful, stunning Kelowna, British Columbia, Canada. She was referred to me by an incredible lady I had on my podcast not long ago, Mary Gooden. Absolutely amazing, enlightened soul, and a true leader with a heart. Today, Karlee, she's doing a lot of good in this world, but to summarize it in a few short sentences would be she helped people become better versions of themselves by finding the true soul's mission, by teaching them self-healing practices, and she's teaching conscious transformation. So there's a lot for us to cover, but before we do so, first of all, welcome to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. So first of, for people who don't know you, who's Karlee? Tell us about you.
Sure. Who's Karlee? Hmm.
Good
Ah,
question, huh?
there's so much to me. Where do I start?
From wherever you want. You're the star of the show, so you write the script, not me. I'm just a director.
True, true. Well, I could start with I actually am born and raised in Kelowna, so I'm very blessed. I mean, I'm surrounded by lakes and
Mhm.
beaches. I should say oceans, not super close to oceans here, but and mountains. I am a huge nature fan. I go camping every couple of weeks in the summer here. I'm actually taking off
Wow.
next week to the island. I'm really excited for it. I love paddleboarding. I'm a huge yogi, I should say. I've been practicing for over a decade, and I've just started recently in the last couple of months teaching yoga in the park here to
Wow.
our local community as a give back. So I've created my own experience with it. I'm excited and I'm going to eventually bring it virtual, but for now it's just local. So that's been an amazing experience, been doing that. I'm obviously into health and wellness, holistic healing and all of that in between. Um, I it took me many years to kind of reach my version of optimal health, and I achieved that through doing my background is holistic nutrition. So, and that's like the mind, body, spirit connection. So being able to kind of connect all those dots together, I love going to the gym, anything like that. I spend a lot of time, doing personal growth and spirituality, stuff like that, reading my cards, meditating. I work with the moon cycles and energy and setting intentions. And, that's my whole life pretty much and what I'm passionate about, and getting into human design and providing that experience for my clients as well has been really amazing. It's helped me learn a lot about myself. I love human design. Uh, any sort of stuff like that is my jam, really.
That's
And
wonderful.
cooking. I should say, too, the last thing, I love cooking. I really love
Wow.
cooking.
That's amazing.
So, and I'm an expert at healthy cooking.
What kind of dishes, what kind of cuisine do you like cooking?
I love when people ask me that because I love cooking everything. But I think the general theme for me is I like meals that are like one plate where everything's all in one together. So whether it's like maybe like a power bowl or like, maybe like it's something in the crock pot or the instant pot, or it's a soup or it's a stew, or it's like some sort of like things where you put it all together and it's all in one thing, one bowl, one plate. Yeah.
Is there
Throwing a
one
whole bunch.
dish?
I like a whole bunch of flavors.
Is there one dish that you're known for that anytime people think about it, so let's go to Karlee for that.
Hmm. No, actually. I don't have one specific. I do cook like a variety from like
Okay.
I love cooking it, East Indian food. I
Mm-hmm.
mostly cook vegan at home though. I mostly eat vegan. I wouldn't say I'm
Mm-hmm.
like strictly vegan, that's for sure, but I barely eat meat. And I definitely don't really partake in dairy, but that's just for my health reasons too, but also
Yes.
the energy that goes into when I'm eating the meat, that just affects me hugely, and then I feel not
That's
good.
awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Wonderful. That's a beautiful intro about you. But as I told you just before we start, I'd like to sure we're going to talk about the professional, accomplishment or the title of the people. But what I'm most interested in is to look under, so to speak, under the hood to see what's in the heart of the person. Hence the name Leaders with a Heart. So let me ask you first some heart mind questions. So Karlee, tell me what makes you happy.
what makes me happy? Well, all those things that I just mentioned, for
Mm-hmm.
sure. as well as, ooh, I really love, and it really lights up my soul, is crafting.
Oh wow.
I just started actually an Instagram page called The Awakened Rocks. And
Mm,
it is, so I'm starting this, like, I know it's a rock art initiative, whatever, it's my soul's mission. And so what it is, well, my soul's mission is to help people become conscious and live with all that is. But so this kind of is just an extension of it. So what I've done is I paint these rocks up, and then I write, like, I have a little quote on them to help unconscious
love
people
that.
become conscious. So for example, my last rock said, like, get grounded. And then what I do is I make sure it's all waterproof and whatever. And then I write a little handwritten note explaining what it means. So what does it mean to get grounded? Like, like actually get grounded in nature, and like the benefits, and like why you should be doing it, and blah, blah, blah. Or like my other rock said, embody your inner child. So then I have a little handwritten note explaining what it means. And then I glue a baggie underneath the rock, and then I stick the letter in there, and then I go put it out in my favorite nature spot. So, when I go camping, I'll go put it in my favorite spots when I camp. And then I just have a little at the bottom, I say, please leave the rock here where so the next soul can find it, and then please follow the
Mm,
journey, and you can contribute at the Awakened Rocks on my Instagram page. And my mission, my goal for it is to be able to have people send me their Awakened Rocks all over the world, and then my Instagram account will have all these beautiful Awakened Rocks from all around the world, and will help spread consciousness.
amazing. Love it. I'm gonna check this out. So it's called Awakened.
The Awakened Rocks, at the
I'll
Awakened
definitely
Rocks.
check and I'll put it in the show notes. All right. Do you have any
Yeah.
of those rocks with you to show us right now?
Oh no, I wish I could have grabbed one. I did have
That's
one.
fine.
I
Don't
have
worry.
some
That's
of them
fine.
inside, but
That's fine.
I've
No
been,
worries.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So what makes you smile?
What makes me smile? Ooh. A lot of different things. Being around my loved ones, spending time with my family and my
Mhm,
friends. I love traveling. That always makes me smile. I think the biggest thing
mhm.
for me is the the feeling I get when I like even read a message, even just like random people message me and, say, I love how inspiring you are, or how positive you are, or like your words literally changed my life, or like, oh, that stuff just like really makes me
Mhm.
smile so much. Like, yeah,
That's amazing. What
yeah.
makes you come alive?
What makes me come alive? Hmm. I would say all those things, but I think the main thing is the feeling I get after working with my clients and like getting off a call, and it really just like makes me come alive knowing that I've just like helped them so much to become, and step into their fullest potential and really live a life that they always thought about, but they thought they were not even capable of achieving, and helping them achieve those goals and getting them there. It just, yeah, lights me up for sure.
Early, I love what I see behind you. We have some beautiful company. That beautiful cat.
Ashes, she's in trouble. She didn't go in her litter box, like literally just before we hopped on here.
It's okay. She's adorable. I can see she's adorable. Yeah,
She
just let
is
her.
she's a princess
Oh, I
though.
can imagine.
I swear the older she gets, the more
How
she's
old is she?
getting very picky with things. She's around 11 years old. So
Oh
I mean in
wow,
human
big
year
girl.
and
Yeah.
yeah, in human years she's getting, I know she's like old now. So yeah,
Wow.
getting a little
Cool.
she's getting a little brat lately, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. All right, cool. What makes you sad and angry?
What makes me sad and angry? I really don't ever get angry ever. That's really never an emotion I've ever possessed. Not
Amazing.
not gonna lie. Sad, again, the where I'm at in my life and how I feel. Things don't really make me sad. I just understand and know that's just how things work in life. Sadness is not really, anytime I like, for me, sadness to me I relate as like crying, I
Hmm.
guess. I literally cry with like gratitude and happiness.
That's
all the
amazing.
time. But then also too, when I'm leveling up, I know when I'm releasing things. So when I'm like shifting into a higher frequency, I will cry, and that's the way that I release things. So I'm not sad though when those are happening, because I know
Mm-hmm.
and that I'm like becoming an even greater and better version
Sure.
of myself than I used to be. But
Mm-hmm.
sad, yeah.
That's
I and
amazing.
sometimes I could be sad about seeing other people's lives and situations,
Mm-hmm.
but then I also just respect that and know that that's their journey and it's perfect and beautiful as it
Absolutely.
is. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. What scares you?
Oh, again, nothing really scares me.
Not
We
even
are
the
limitless
dark,
beings.
not even spiders.
Yeah, like something like that. Heights sometimes can scare me a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit. Sometimes
Mm-hmm.
I can psych myself out. Like I've done some like cliff jumping and stuff like that
Oh,
throughout my
wow.
life, but sometimes I can psych myself out like when I'm like about to do it, but then I'll just like do it. Spiders, they used to scare me. Not really. Not anymore. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
It's all good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let me ask you now some fun questions. You know, when we're kids growing up, everybody asks us, whether it's family, friends, relative, teachers. So, Carly, what do you want to become when you grow up? What was your answer back then?
hmm I never really knew. Honestly, I was never one of those kids that really knew what I wanted to do. And that's
Mm-hmm.
something I really struggled with for a lot of my life.
Mm,
Yeah. And it wasn't until I came home and did all of my inner healing and personal growth and came into my soul's mission to then finally be like, oh my God, this is what I was supposed to be doing the whole time. It just took me
awesome.
so many years to get to this point, but it's all good. It was my journey. I think
Yes.
I kind of always wanted to be a teacher though. I used to like set up my stuffies and like have, remember those like etch a sketch board things? What
Yes,
are they
yes,
called?
yes.
Is that what they're called? I forget what
Yeah, I
they're
forgot the name.
called.
Yeah, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to set up my Barbies and my stuffies and like have like their schedule and like, oh, today we're teaching math. Today we're doing this, which is ironic because I teach. That's what, I'm all constantly teaching, within my community, my clients, my audience,
Hmm.
right? So I love
Yeah,
teaching. Yeah.
that's awesome. And when you were a kid in school, what was your favorite subject?
Hmm. Didn't really have a favorite subject. That, that's for
Not even
sure.
sports?
No,
What were you really
honestly.
good at in school?
I was one of those kids where I was just kind of like good at everything because I worked
Okay.
really hard at it. I always had A's and B's and every single academic or
Hmm.
whatever, even if it was just like cooking class or the gym or whatever. Um, yeah,
Okay,
I don't
that's
know.
awesome.
Yeah, it wasn't really. Now I
Mm,
know why it all makes sense because yeah,
absolutely.
where I'm at.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a perfect segue. Like looking now back at your path that you're on right now, how would you describe your path? Would you say that once you started getting into one path, it was pretty much straight sailing, smooth sailing forward, or was it more like turns and twists along the way? You had to change direction, industry, careers. So, how would you describe your path so far?
hmm So my path until up, I think it's like 5 years ago, I was waitressing and bartending
Mm,
on and off. And I would kind of just squirrel my money and then I'd go traveling and then I'd come home and then I'd travel again. And then because I had no clue what I wanted to do. And I didn't want to go to school and spend thousands of dollars. I saw all my friends have degrees and be in debt and do the typical, 9 to 5 stuff, live for the weekends, blah, blah,
oh yeah,
blah. I just knew deep down this was not Carlee's calling. I did not want to do what everyone else was doing.
absolutely.
Definitely
Yeah,
not. So I got into the digital space doing affiliate marketing because I got
amazing.
sold on the old laptop lifestyle, quit your 9 to 5, laptop lifestyle. So that's kind of how I got into the digital space. And, from there, it led me into transitioning and using, because my diploma in holistic health and nutrition because then I had the confidence and the skills to be able to, in the online space, and I still wanted a digital business, to have that freedom. It's an ongoing theme of my life, is how can Karlee create the most freedom in her life? And for me, it's trading the least amount of time for money, because then I have freedom to do everything else that I want to do, right?
Absolutely. Hmm.
So that transitioned me into doing that. And then, the more I grow and the more work I do within myself, and I know this, and it's a continuous journey, that, I let source work through me and guide me in my life. I have my goals. I know where I want to be, but how my soul's mission expresses and how I choose to serve, it might change. It's all good. I just take
Absolutely.
steps forward every day, because I know I'm a continuous evolving human being, and the more I grow and change, the more my soul's mission might want to express itself differently out to be of service. So I'm open, and it doesn't matter to me. Really. Yeah.
Awesome. And I hear you saying that you're very passionate about finding your soul's purpose and all that, working and being mindful and all that. At what point did you get into that path? Was it a single event, or was it a combination of events, or was it something that basically you were into that kind of thinking and ever since you can remember, for as long as you can remember?
Right. No, it was definitely a trickle of a series of events to get
Hmm.
me to where I am today, for sure.
Hmm.
It was definitely me getting in the online space, and my
Hmm.
mentors were like, mindset is key if you want to be successful, blah, blah. So, I was always into reading like self-help books and blah, blah, blah. So I got into more, I read the classics, Napoleon Hill, Rhonda Bryan, stuff like that.
Or
And
work
then
week?
I actually have never read that one before.
Blasphemy.
I should though. Yeah, you're right. Like this is exactly
That's
like
a Bible in the
thank,
industry, you know?
thank you. I need to read that one. You're right. Anyway, so that kind of, got me into, practicing, gratitude every day, making these small little shifts within my mindset, becoming more positive. And then from there, leading down the road, hiring coaches. I went to a workshop called Awaken with Todd Campbell. I don't know if you've heard of Todd Campbell. He is a god. Check him out. He's
Sounds familiar.
amazing.
Yes. Okay. Writing this down.
Yes. Yeah,
Todd Campbell. Okay.
Todd Campbell. Yeah. He does retreats and workshops and stuff like that. And it was definitely a huge game changer for me. And like attending conferences and stuff like that within my
Hmm.
affiliate marketing community, that helped me grow even further and expand. And then, yeah, when I kept, I always have a coach. So hiring coaches to help me with my business. I had one coach, and bless her, was always like, follow your intuition, follow your intuition, follow your intuition, and I kept grinding and grinding and doing, the typical things, thinking I needed all these strategies, thinking I needed all these tools, thinking I needed all these things in order to have a successful business. But at the end of the day, if it's not in alignment with who you are on a soul level, you're never going to be successful. You can, well, sure, okay, I shouldn't say that. You can be successful, but you're grinding, you're probably not happy, you're probably working like a dog. You know what I mean? So that kind of led me, and, I kept opening myself up, doing a lot of different things. Um, Christina Rice has been a huge impact in my life. Check her out if you haven't heard of her before. She is
Okay.
amazing. She is very
Christina Rice.
Christina Rice. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Christina. Yeah, like rice and rice at the end.
Hmm.
She has been really impactful for me. Her content is amazing. She has this like ascension challenge. It's like a 30-day, sorry, ascension challenge. And from there, I was able to open myself up to my intuition, learning how to exercise it and build a relationship with it, and step out of my ego, and make decisions from my heart and soul instead of from my left side of my brain, and start reprogramming my subconscious brain into what I truly desire, and be able to work towards those things. And literally I just came home to my soul's purpose from doing all this work. And that's what I teach my clients is, I always say we're like onions, and we got to peel back all these layers to get to your true authentic self. All these layers is like your programming from your past, society's programming, things that you aren't even aware of that are in your subconscious that are affecting you day to day. Yeah. And just getting to that
Awesome.
point.
We'll get
Mm-hmm.
into that in a moment. I'm sure you heard the saying, "Change your story, change your life." And by story, I mean what we keep on telling ourselves on a daily basis, the internal,
Yes.
dialogue we have in our head. So we all have had to change our story at one point or another to get closer to our goals or get back on track. So when you had to change your story, to change your life, or to get back on track or closer to where you wanted to do, how did you do it? Did you do it through mentors, books, friends, family? Tell us the process. How did you change your story to change your life?
Mm-hmm. Definitely, it was a combo of things, like all those things
Mm,
that you mentioned. It was definitely, I have a couple really close friends that are, into personal growth, and we've kind of grown together over the years. And diving deep into myself, asking myself and doing a lot of asking myself a lot of hard questions that most people don't ask, and digging into myself and figuring out why am I acting the way I'm acting, and really becoming very, very aware. And I always say spirituality, personal growth is just bringing up your awareness around every little single aspect of your life. And exactly, like, where was I holding myself back? Because your thoughts create your reality, your language creates your
absolutely.
reality, your et cetera, et cetera. So, that's how I started changing my story and rewriting it, is becoming
Mhm.
aware of, how I was speaking, the language, the emotions I was having. And, then from there, I reprogrammed my subconscious brain, and, using different practices, meditation, you know, a lot of different things that I do, I guess. Yeah.
Amazing.
Affirmations. Yeah.
You just said something that really stood out to me. You said you had to ask yourself some very tough questions. What would you say was the toughest question you had to ask yourself?
If if fear and money did not exist, what would I be doing? Who would I be with? Where would I be? What would I want to be? And that's where I'm at right now, right? I don't worry about money. I don't worry about, I'm not fear. I'm not, there is no fear. What's there to fear? Right? And letting those go, letting that go completely.
That's
And I was
amazing.
like,
Let it
wow.
go.
I was like, wow. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Like, they do not. That's just a story that we've been telling ourselves, in a deep programming from society, of course, but it's been conditioned into us.
And when you think
Mm-hmm.
about it, really, we really don't need that much money to really be happy. We can, the best, at least for me, and after living in 10 countries on 4 continents, some of the most happiest moment have been when I lived the simplest life, you know? Because
I
I
agree.
did the, I did the corporate thing, having a high paying job, having the expensive condo in downtown Toronto and all that, and being up to your eyeballs in debt and being basically a slave to the banks and all that. When a time came that I said, is this what I want to see myself doing for the next 40 years? Hell no. And I completely disconnected, and now I've never been happier.
I agree. I was, yeah. And what's funny is the universe uh fired me. So
Hmm.
I was part-time serving, like, in the nights for a long time, trying to build my business for quite a
Hmm.
few years. And yeah, they fired me. And it was literally just the universe being like, Karlee, it is time.
That
Like,
was a
you got
gift.
this. It was a gift, because honestly, I was always in the back of my mind, oh, I'll just, because they're a family. I worked there for so many years. I was always thinking in the back of my mind, oh, I'll just still work here one day a week just to stay in touch with them. But that's old Karlee.
No,
That's old Karlee. I don't want to be slanging drinks to alcoholics. That's not who I
no,
am.
exactly, exactly.
Right. So it was a gift, a blessing in disguise. And it was a challenge, right? Because then instantly, ooh, I didn't have any income coming in, right? There was that fear, there was that scarcity mindset coming in hugely, hugely, right? And then shifting and coming home to my being abundant constantly. I have more than enough, right?
Absolutely. And there's one key principle that is really emphasized on the 4 Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss is whenever you're thinking of starting a business, ask yourself just one question: what is the worst case scenario, and write it down. The worst case scenario for most people would be maybe go back home, live with their parents, or rent a room or basement with other people. You're not going
Yeah,
to be on the street begging for money. So if that's the worst case, that's not too bad. Just go for it, because you can always get another
exact,
job. You cannot, because
exactly.
there's a saying that we make a mountain of a little mouse. We completely overblow overthink things, and no, we
Mm-hmm.
don't have to write it down. What is the worst case scenario? You might lose some money. You might have to downsize your life and whatnot. So what? You know
Yeah, right. Exactly. That's what I was asked myself too. What's the worst case scenario? I'll have to get another job part-time serving,
exactly.
right?
Maybe eat some ramens and some noodles. No problem. I'll do it
It's
gladly.
sell some of my clothes, whatever. Like, yeah, exactly.
I don't need the latest iPhone 25 or whatever now it is called.
Yeah, exactly. Do I need to upgrade my phone? Probably not.
No, exactly.
Yeah,
Awesome.
works just
I
fine.
love that. I love that. So, Carly, tell us about your business now. What are you up to?
What am I up to? Okay. So, well, I guess you kind of described at the beginning there, but
Mm-hmm,
yeah, I do teach conscious transformations.
mm-hmm,
So I help people become better versions of themselves by going through the synergistic shifts. So what I truly do, and I'll kind of walk you through the steps, is the first
please.
step is called the intuitive conscious living method. So getting your day-to-day on track and your health on track is
Mm-hmm,
first, because you can't do any, I'm sorry, but you can't do any of this inner healing work, this discovering, getting more conscious, raising your frequency, unless your health is almost at optimal health, because you need to be, yeah, it's just you won't be able to open up your gifts and to come home to them if you're not, even if you're still stressed, if you're still overwhelmed, if you still run around with your head cut off, you know living paycheck to paycheck, like being unhealthy habits and routines, whether that's food, whether that's your friends, that you people that you surround yourself with, how you're sleeping. There's so many different things that I look at with my clients. It's the, like I said, it's the mind body soul connection, right? So just getting their day-to-day habits and routines on point, so they wake up every morning, they want to crush their day, they're feeling really good. I'm an expert at fitting things in for people in their busy life, because I get it. We all live busy lives, we all have a lot of things going on, but I'm really good at helping people squeeze things in and like create more. You can expand time doesn't exist, right? So it's these people that hold themselves back thinking, I can't do this, I can't do that, I don't have time for this. Well, actually you do, and I'll show you how we can implement all these things in your life and create more time. Like, oh, you're like, oh, right, Karlee, yeah, I do spend a half an hour scrolling on Instagram, you're right. You know what I mean? Like, and again,
Oops.
it's oops, it's just like, okay, well, maybe you could
YouTube
have been
Shorts.
right. I was like, hey, well,
As
maybe you could be like spending 10 minutes and reading, a personal development book instead, or listening to a podcast or an audio book, or
working out.
consuming, working out, right? Or food prepping, right? It's just like there's so many different things, meditating, right? There's so many different things that you could be doing, but it's just I help bring up that awareness in their life, because we all perceive differently, and someone like me can see parts of you that you may just be missing, right? And
Sure.
just getting like, so yeah, so that's kind of like your day to day, getting that down packed first so you feel really good, you know looking at your diet, all those different things, of course, helping you with all those different aspects. And then going into the second step is looking at their programming and society's programming. So looking into their past, healing any inner wounds that needs to be done. And these can be big or small, whether it's like unfortunately, there's a lot of people that come to me, like sexual abuse, or maybe you were in the army and now you can't sleep at night and you have night terrors.
Right.
Those seem to be kind of huge ones, and it doesn't matter. And some of these things that you're not even aware of. So doing that inner child healing, I'll drop them down into like a meditative state. I'll do some inner child healing with them. I will reprogram their subconscious brain as well. And then when they get further down along the road with me, I'll teach them how to do all these things. We have all this power within us to do all these things, but it's doing the work to be able to get to the frequency where I'm at, to be able to do these things for yourself, right? And and of course, like at that maybe moment in your life, you don't even believe that you have that power within you to do those things. So you need to you need to get to my point where yes, you believe that you have this power within you, because you do. But I can't just teach you all these things if you don't even believe they're going to work, because then they won't, of course, right? So, you know, looking at your all those things from your past and then your now, of course, and then society's programming. So teaching them all the different ways that society has ingrained certain things within us, you know, the huge one, of course, like the lack, the scarcity mindset. There's never enough of anything for us, right? Shifting them into an abundant mindset, always getting rid of those money blocks, right? Those are huge for people. All the different aspects of money programming that are put upon us. I'd say those are like the main kind of big ones from society, but it's a lot of different things, and it depends on what my client's at on their journey, whether it's male or female. You know, males, I work with a lot of males. Males can come off a lot of times and they don't even know how to express themselves, how to articulate their thoughts, because as males, they were taught another programming from society, never to express their feelings. They always don't cry. You know, that's kind of like the typical
Mm-hmm.
things that get ingrained in them without them even realizing it. Or, you know, it was one of their caregivers, right? Maybe didn't show them affection. Well, how do you think that's affecting their relationships now? Right? They don't know how to give affection. They were never taught that, right? That's all they know. So, you know, correcting all these things and bringing these things up to their awareness and then healing them and letting them go and overcoming them. And this is a huge thing, because people are great. A lot of people can bring up this awareness and discover these things, but having this proper tools to be letting them go and overcoming them so they don't constantly haunt you again and again and again. And like I said, like it affects, depending on what they are, different areas of your life, right? Could be relationships, finances, could be your career, could be yourself, could be your health, right? So being able to actually energetically let them go, because when we let them go, then we're creating space within us to receive what we actually truly desire. But if we don't create that space within us, well, how do you expect you to receive anything that you want into your life? Well, then that's when you're kind of stagnant and stuck, right? And then from there, we go into what I call the powerful wolf process. So I always say we have a bad wolf inside of us and we have a powerful wolf inside of us. Which do you choose to feed? Right? So that is your negative self-talk. That's your self-sabotaging. That's that inner critic, the little guy on your shoulder. It's always like, you can't do this. You're not good enough for this. Over-analyzing, overthinking, talking out of things, even though, you know, it's best for you, constantly living in your ego, right? Most people unfortunately live in their ego and don't listen to their intuition, which is their highest self, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then going into even more so that powerful wolf is building that unconditional love for yourself, that confidence, you know, and most people struggle with this. Most people don't love themselves unconditionally. If they did, we literally would be a big ball of light. No joke. That is the highest frequency you can vibrate at. Okay. So it's like, and again, that's like another society's program. People think that they're always looking and seeking for that validation. If they think they have the perfect looks, the physical looks, that suddenly that they'll love themselves more, that they'll have more confidence, blah, blah, blah. So constantly validating themselves with these materialistic things, unfortunately. So, you know, different exercises and tools that I give them to be able to raise their confidence and cultivate that unconditional love for themselves. And then from there, going into step 4, which is my jam, obviously, this is all kind of interconnected, but like spirituality, personal growth, whatever, going into manifesting, reprogramming your subconscious brain. Spirituality, I mean, I have a vast knowledge among a lot of things to go into. You know, I work strongly with your chakras. Chakras are very important. Dealing with your chakras and, you know, proper utilizing, setting intentions, really utilizing and understanding how to utilize Mother Earth, how to utilize source, how to utilize your own energy, right? In order to create the life that you want, in order to achieve your goals, because we have all this beautiful power within us. So learning all these different tools and strategies that you can implement into your daily life to help you get into the life that you truly create, the life that you truly desire. And then
Mm-hmm.
from there, going into, now we're kind of at the center, right? The core, the onion, going into, okay, well, who are you now, right? Because a lot of the times over the years, well, these the truths, which are just beliefs, your values, which are now your priorities, have ingrained into you. Well, who are you on a soul level? So giving them all these different tools and strategies, and a lot of them are just journal prompts, writing prompts. That's when the magic happens. Giving them these questions, like I said, these hard questions to figure out who you are now, right? Like these
Mhm.
questions you asked me at the beginning. What lights you up? What makes you come alive? It's unfortunate, but a lot of people can't even answer a lot of those questions.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then coming home to those, and from there coming home to that, and then that is when you figure out the last step is your soul purpose. And then if you choose to make it sort of your source of income around it, like I have, because I truly believe, and this is what I'm going for, is helping people step into their soul's mission, their purpose. That is how you work less, you receive more, right? More freedom in your life. If we're all working in a service to source and all of each other, this world is going to be only filled with love, compassion, forgiveness, right? There needs to be no negativity in this world anymore.
Yeah,
So
you're speaking
yeah.
totally my language. Absolutely. I can just listen to you for hours and hours. That's exactly my language. It's all about,
Yeah.
raising the frequency and all that. So amazing, amazing. So tell me, who's your ideal client's avatar?
Mhm. So I kind of have, I would say I have like three levels of clients. So my first level are the clients that come to me that really want to heal right away.
Hmm.
And, the stuff that's really like really, like I said, that sexual abuse or maybe really, really bad past trauma that's really affecting their life. They want to be able to learn how to actually let go and overcome these things. So that would be, my first level of client. And then the second level from there would be people that are those 9 to 5ers that are like, they're kind of like, they're kind of awakening. They're kind of asking questions and they're like, well, this is kind of what's going on as a collective right now, as people are realizing the truths are coming out, what's really truly going on in this world right now. You know what I mean? The bigger picture. And people are like, well, what am I actually supposed to be doing here on this planet? Like, who am I? A lot of these people lose themselves in their families. They give, 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 give. They lose touch completely with themselves. They have no self-care. They just give, 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 and then they work, 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 and grind, grind, grind. And they're like, well, I know I have a purpose, because they can feel it. Their soul is like screaming at them. They just have this yearning and they're ready, right? They're ready to work with me. They want to find these, they want to discover these things, right? And then my third level is entrepreneurs like me, business owners, people that want to level up, right? Because the more, as you know, the more you grow and the more you become a better version of yourself, the more you raise your frequency, well, the bigger, the greater, the more impact you have as a business owner in
Hmm.
and in your relationships, right? In every sort of aspect of your life. I really like and I love healing relationships, especially romantic ones. It's really a blessing to be able to help people do that. And people think that, they need to fix the relationship between the two of them, but actually when they heal themselves, they heal the relationship with that partner. So I love doing that sort of work and working with
That's
business owners and entrepreneurs and people that want to level up, right? The more impact we can make, the greater. So yeah.
and there's nothing more fulfilling and rewarding than when you actually help someone actually find clarity or find a path or solve a burning problem.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I speak from personal experience on that. Absolutely amazing. Tell us a little bit about the most remarkable example of transformation you've seen from one of your clients so far.
Oh, this is a hard question. I don't know. I think they're all so beautiful.
That's
I just
great. Yeah.
gets me excited
Whichever
about
comes
it.
to mind. Whichever comes to mind. The most juiciest, maybe.
The most juiciest, yeah. I think my top two is my one client that had really, really, really bad sexual abuse and could not even speak to females, couldn't articulate his thoughts. He literally would
Wow.
freeze up. He couldn't even let them touch them. Like it was just like it was it was
Wow.
that it was that bad. And after doing a lot of inner child healing work with him, he's now able to fully communicate and articulate his thoughts and speak to other females and have that confidence, and has completely let go of that past experience. And that was a huge pivotal moment in his life to be able to move forward and actually now progress towards his goals. And then my second one, I would say is, and this is kind of a little bit personal to me, but being able to help save a romantic relationship. And, you know, they were literally going to break up, and they had
Oh,
been together for 5 years. And it was like, this is it, like, it's done. And I was able to completely transform their relationship, and now they're happy and beautiful together. And yeah, it's just like, oh, yeah.
how does it make you feel when you're literally not only provide helping someone, but basically transforming their lives? How do you feel about that? How does it make you feel?
How does it make me feel? My heart, like, I just like this feeling. It's just like this, it makes me want to cry. Like, I'm actually getting
Uh,
emotional right now as we talk
I know,
about
I
it.
can see that. Yeah,
I
me
just
too.
like, I know, like, I'm like, oh, don't make me cry. Yeah, it literally just makes me cry because it's just like,
Mhm. It's
yeah,
amazing. I know.
yeah.
Yeah, totally. Let me ask you an upbeat question. You know, the theme of this podcast is, building impactful businesses. Like, for example, for me, I'm an e-commerce guy. I'm in the process of launching my new brand through a crowdfunding platform called Kickstarter. I'm sure you've heard of it. And I'll be
Well,
launching a pair of a product completely with vegan materials and for eco-friendly and biodegradable materials. And for each unit I sell, I will be donating a pair of eyeglasses to someone that needs it but cannot afford it in India. So
love
that's my
that.
way, because myself, I've always been struggling with eyesight. But believe it or not, right now there are over 1 billion people in the world. We're not able to see clearly, but most importantly, they're not able to afford even something as simple as a pair of eyeglasses. Like, imagine
Hmm.
something that we
I,
take for granted, being able to see clearly. There's over 1 billion people who can't even do that properly. And as I said in the beginning, not any single individual can change the world by themselves, but each and every single one of us does a little bit in their own small little of sphere of influence. And
mhm.
if we can inspire just one other, help and inspire just one other person, and that person goes on to help another, and so on and so forth, before all before long we can create a global ripple effect that's going to really change things. So that's my mission. So
Yes.
the point of that is, so what cause would you say that you, Carlee, are most passionate about?
Hmm. So my vision is to, you know, empower people and teach them the skills and tools to
Mhm,
become conscious and raise their awareness.
mhm.
And by doing this, I know that, like I already mentioned, it's going to create an improved world. And one of my big goals is to be able to start conscious schools in third world countries
Amazing.
where we can teach the kids right off the hop, because I'm sorry, our school system is
Don't
setting
get
us
me
up for
started on that.
setting
I know.
setting us up for failure, to say the least. So starting schools in these countries and bringing, and all over the world, but I definitely would bring it to the people the most needy first, and starting these schools where they are taught right off the hop that your thoughts create your reality, to empower them to find their gifts when they are young, to cultivate and grow them. So by the time they're our age, they're already been serving years in their soul's purpose, right? They already know how to shift their reality. They already know how to be an observer of their thoughts and understand that it's not, doesn't control them, right? It's so, you know, I mean, among other things, but that's kind of my vision. So, an improved world, you know, because I want to set up our world, you know, I'm building a legacy for my children, but for future children, because the world right now is just not a good place.
So
And things are
which
changing, and I'm excited for it. So, it's all good. But
absolutely, which countries do you have in mind to open those schools?
oh, that is a good question. I actually haven't even thought that far. Hmm. I think I would research it first,
Hmm.
and figure out what countries need it the most first. That's what I would do. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm
Yes,
going to do.
definitely. Awesome. Awesome. Let me ask you
Yeah,
now some fun questions. First of all, do you have your own podcast?
don't. This is why I like going on other podcasts.
Why don't you have your own yet?
I know I will eventually. It's just a time thing for me right now.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So imagine that you have your own podcast, very successful, and today you have the most amazing guest in the world, the most special, and that is yourself. You're interviewing yourself today. What would be the first question you want to ask yourself? And I don't want you to think too much. Tell me what is the first question that comes to mind that you would want to ask yourself. Don't overthink it. The first that thing that comes to mind.
Ask myself on my own podcast or ask a
Yes. No, no,
guest?
no, no, no. You're interviewing yourself. The guest of the show today is yourself, the most special person in the world. And what is the first question you want to ask yourself? I don't want you to think too much. What is the first question that comes to mind? Don't hold anything back. So
Well, you kind of already said it. I was going to say what lights up your soul or what makes you come alive,
mhm,
because those are things I ask myself every day. And if you just follow and continue doing those things,
mhm,
that's all you need to be doing, really.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Now imagine that you
Mhm.
have a time machine. You can go back and meet with your 18-year-old self. What would be the first piece of advice you would give to your 18-year-old self knowing all that you know now?
Wow. Work on growing yourself as a person and do the work and get to the point
Mhm,
like where I'm at now, sort of thing, instead of looking at, well, more so, instead of looking outside of myself for all the answers, look within myself. That's
that's it. That's
it.
it.
That's it.
Yes, 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 absolutely.
Oh, yes.
And what would you say is your superpower?
But I have many superpowers.
The one superpower that Carly is known for.
Oh, I think the one thing I'm known for is being able to really, when I speak to people, I don't want to sound like I'm like speaking for my ego here, but because I don't even realize it, but like the words that I speak, I change people's lives for the better, no matter what I'm saying to them
Mhm,
instantly. And for me, I'm just like blah 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 blah, and I don't even think anything about it. And then they come back to me like 6 months, years down the road, and they're like, "Oh my god, like you completely changed my life." I'm like, "Oh my god, wow,
wow,
that is amazing." Without even realizing it, it's so beautiful.
absolutely. Um, what's the smallest thing that you've done that has had the biggest impact in your life so far?
Learning how to live in the present moment and the now
Mm, love
and
that.
be grateful and abundant for everything I already have. And well, I should say, and trust in knowing that no matter what, all of my goals are going to come into my physical reality, no matter what. It's universal
Mhm,
laws, it's quantum physics.
absolutely, absolutely.
Hmm.
Now, if you were to become the president, not of Canada, the US, but the president of planet Earth, what is
Oh,
the first thing you would do to to make the world a better place?
oh, what would I do? The first thing. Oh, there's a lot
Hmm.
of things I would do, but
The first thing.
the first thing I would wipe out any of the leaders that aren't conscious.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Which one would you start first with?
Trudeau,
Give me five. Give me 10.
right?
I would help you. I would help you any shape or way. You
Oh,
just
geez.
call me and I even walk to help you.
Right.
If I'm in Asia, I would swim the Pacific just to be there.
No joke. Yeah. Because instantly that would shift the whole world in seconds. Seconds.
Especially first starting with our own country. Canada used to be such a beautiful place, but it's been completely destroyed by this clown. I know.
No joke. Oh,
Oh yeah.
pedophile, you mean?
Listen, after living, I've been living the past 6 years in Hong Kong and Asia. When I came back, I don't even recognize this country. I don't even recognize it anymore.
Really? Hey,
And I
wow.
can't wait to get back to get out as soon as possible. I mean, crazy high taxes, horrible weather. At least in Toronto, maybe you guys in BC, you're blessed with more sunshine,
Yeah.
less cold, less snow. But here in Toronto, it's awful.
Oh yeah, you got
Cra-
to move out here. Why are you in Toronto? Get out here. Get
yes,
out west.
definitely,
But
definitely.
get ready to pay even more taxes.
All right, I'll pass. I'll come vacation.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, wipe out income tax. Oh, geez, definitely.
crazy cost of
Yeah.
living. I don't know if you've lived in Asia, but I lived in Asia. I mean,
Yes.
I have a cousin of mine. I was just talking with him. He's doing mine. He's doing really well. He's young, but
Hmm.
he was telling me he's renting a studio and yeah, in a good place area in Toronto, but a studio for $2,500. Give me a break. You know, I lived in Thailand, the Philippines, and even in Hong Kong, one of the most expensive places in the world. You can get much better. And I have friends of mine in Malaysia and Bali. For $600, you have a private villa with a swimming pool. For $600.
Trust me, I
So
know. I know. I've been to Southeast Asia. I get it. Yeah,
and
it's brutal here too. I mean, brutal. One bedrooms here are going for like 2 grand.
last year, I'm not kidding.
What?
True story. Last year, I was just bored out of my mind. We live in a small town outside of Toronto. I was even contemplating to even get an Airbnb inside Toronto just to change my area and be in town as opposed to being in the boonies.
Yeah.
So check this: a shared room and a flat with 5 or 6 people, $1,400, just one room. When I saw that, say, there's no way in hell I'm gonna do that. I'm just gonna stay put here until I can travel. Again.
Yes. Smart. I like
It's
it.
ridiculous. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
it's crazy. Wow. Listen, Carly, we can talk for hours and hours. You're a true enlightened soul. You're true leader with a heart. If you were to give a parting tips or wisdom for people listening to this, what would it be?
I already said this, but I think it's the biggest thing is trust and know that you have all the answers within you in all areas
Absolutely.
of your life.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
What's the best way to, if someone wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do so?
I hang out on Facebook mostly, not Instagram. So, except for my Awaken Rocks. So, yeah, so just my Facebook, my personal page. I also have a free Facebook group, Reignite Your Purpose and Find Fulfillment.
Wait,
And it's in my
reignite. What is it called? Reignite.
Reignite Your Purpose and
Uh
Find
huh.
Fulfillment.
And find fulfillment. Okay, perfect. I'll put that
It's
in the
it's
show
in my
notes.
it's in my cover photo. So to
And you
join
and
anyways
your
on my personal.
the personal as your name, Karlee Welder, right?
Yeah, just how it's spelt
All right.
here. And then
Awesome.
also my website is coachkarlee.com, but coach with a K.
Oh, why with a K? What's the story behind that?
Thought it was catchy.
I know, huh? It's all about standing up. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was cool.
CoachCarlee.com. I love that. Okay, Coach
I
Carlee.
don't even like identifying as a coach, but it's just easy for branding. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
All
all good.
right. Let me see if there's anything else I have forgotten. No, we're pretty much done. Oh, and one last question that love asking.
Okay.
Imagine that you lost, God forbid, you lost everything, no more contacts, reputation, and you only left with your knowledge and $1,000. How would you bounce back?
How would I bounce back?
And you just have a place
Well,
to stay for 30 days to just to cover. You have food and a place to sleep covered. You have no contacts, no connections, only your knowledge and $1,000.
I would use the power within me and shift it. That's all I need to do. I would manifest what I want. That's all anyone
Mm-hmm.
needs to do.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. All right. Cool. All right, Carly, it's been amazing talking to you. I'm glad we connected. You're an incredible person with a beautiful heart, an amazing
Oh,
mission and vision. And we'll definitely do a follow up in a few months. And
yes, fun.
yeah, I salute you. You're a true leader with a heart. Have a wonderful day, weekend ahead of you. And yeah, enjoy your summer. Next week, you're going to be traveling and make the most of it.
Woo, thank you. Appreciate
And
it.
yeah, have a wonderful, amazing, time there. And we'll keep in touch. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye. Ciao.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.